All right, YouTube, found another car. Going to look at it now. Should be a deal, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully I take it home. I'll put the ad on the screen, and once I get it, if I get it, knock on wood, I'll explain the ad a little bit more and what happened.
Hi, dude. What year is it?
It's a 2002. There it is. The new project. Ow. It's fuel, it should fire. Get it? Come on.
Not showing any gas in it at all. I'd say you're probably only hitting on one cylinder if it's gonna.
I don't know. None of the instruments are working, but that's probably a fuse or something. Man, I thought it had no compression. Listen to that thing. Oh, man. Man, a second ago I thought it needed an engine. A second ago I thought it needed an engine. No way. Replaced, like the brakes were new and then he parked it and then, yeah, I don't know, I guess.
These are conditioned for 2002.
I know.
The seats.
Look, there's not even like a door ding on the whole car. Look how straight the body is.
This looks like somebody's.
One door ding. One little one I see. That's crazy.
I can't believe it sold for $1,000.
I know.
It's like giving it away.
I know. That's why when they messaged me last night, I said, I'll take it. One little mark on the bumper. That's it. That is crazy. The interior. And then they had the windows cracked. So it's been sitting for like a year with the windows down like that.
Where's the battery? In the trunk?
Yeah, in the trunk. Brand new battery. It just needs to be charged. Hopefully. Manual transmission. Yeah. All right, YouTube. As you can see from the couple clips, I got a new car. It's a 2002 BMW 325i. My first BMW, my first German car. And it's amazing. So let me give you a walk around and I'll tell the story of how I got it. And this has to be like the cheapest running and driving one in America, probably, in 2023. So here it is. It is in beautiful condition. It's just dirty. It's been sitting for like 2 years. So you can see it's just had been rained on and everything. It was sitting with the window cracked and it's just messy inside. So I'm gonna clean it this week. I'm gonna make that another video where I'm gonna wash it and buff the whole thing. But there's like 2 dings on the whole car. You can't even see it, but one's right there. And then this one little spot right here. There, I guess 2 spots. But that's it. You know, a few little scratches, but all in all, it's in amazing shape. Like you can just, that's it under the garage lights. And yeah, it just looks astonishing. So I saw this car posted a few weeks ago. It was posted for $3,000 and it wasn't running. So I messaged and I said, it didn't say it wasn't running. It had no description at all. And I messaged, I said, what's the deal with it? And the lady said it needs fuel injectors. And then I asked a few more questions and she was like, let me talk to my husband. And she never got back to me. So like 2 weeks go by And then the other night, 2 nights ago, I just get a message late at night, and she says, we've lowered the price to $1,000 because they called like a junkyard to come pick it up, and they said they'll do it for $1,000. So she said, if you can pick it up next weekend for $1,000, it's yours. And I said, I'll take it. So yeah, I was like, even if it needs an engine or something, like, I could part it out or sell it as a shell or something. But I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I was like, you can't do any sooner than next week? She says that she can do tomorrow. And it was like 9 o'clock at night. So then I messaged my grandpa. I'm like, okay, we're going to pick this up tomorrow. And it was local. It was like 20 minutes away, so it wasn't far. So yeah, we go there in the morning, go to look at it, and I walk off. I'm expecting something terrible. I'm expecting to be in bad shape, and no matter what, I'm buying it. So I walk up and I see the back, and I'm like, okay, I don't see any dings or anything. I don't see any rust on the side. And then I really look at the side, and I'm like, man, there's not a dent on this thing. So, and then I'm like, it just looks like it's been sitting for a little bit. But I just get to like right here, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, no way, this thing's amazing. So I look at it while I'm waiting for them to come outside, and I'm just so excited. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. And I look at it for like a second, and I don't even care. I'm just like, yeah, I'll take it. And then we do the paperwork and everything, and we get it on the trailer. And to get it on the trailer, I put a jump box on the back to get the window down because the battery is dead. So to get the window down, I put a jump box on it. And then after I got the window down, I tried to turn it over just to see if it'll turn over. And it turned over for a second, and I just left it at that. But it sounded weird, and I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, we'll look at it later. It had like, the jump box is pretty like drained, so it hardly had any voltage anyways. So I was like, it might just have been a slow crank. So we bring it back home and unload it, and then I put a good battery and the jump pack on it. So I'm like, okay, now it's got good voltage, let's try it. And then I crank it over, and my grandpa's sitting where he's looking at the engine, and it just sounds like it has no compression at all, like no cylinders hit at all. I was like, what the heck? Like it just sounded like you could have told me every spark plug was out of it, and I would have believed it. Like, that's how it sounded. I was like, oh man, this thing's toast or something. But then I was like thinking, I was like, man, how's every single cylinder not gonna have compression? So I was like, it's either destroyed or I don't know. So I spray a little carburetor cleaner into the intake, and then my grandpa's turning it over, and then I hear one cylinder like kind of hitting, and then a little more. I'm like, man, it's kind of hitting. So I spray a little gas in the intake. I try to start it, and then it's still like kind of hitting. Then I just let off the throttle completely, and I try to start it, and then it starts, and I give it throttle like halfway just to keep it running, and it is like at 2,000 RPMs, and it sounded pretty good. I was like, no way. I was like, a minute ago I thought this thing needed an engine. So I was like, no way. So then yeah, I let my foot off the gas and see if it'll idle, and it idles. I'm like, okay. And then I turn it off, and my grandpa's like, turn it back on to see if it'll just start. So then I turn it back on, and sure enough, it starts, and it idles perfect. It's just perfect. I was like, no way. This thing runs. And then, yeah, I just put it in first, and it moves, and I was like, okay. So this thing runs and drives. I was like, no way. This thing ran and drove, and I was just in shock. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I paid $1,000 for the car. This is unbelievable. Like the last time I had the same feeling was when I got an Eagle Talon, and I brought it home, and it was like a junky one, a single overhead cam 420A, and the coil pack, the distributor, the wires were going to the wrong one, so I swapped them, and then I started it and started right up, and I dailied that for a little bit, and that was $200. But this just felt 10 times better because this is this car, and this thing's like in mint shape. That thing was junk. But so it started and I was like, no way. And from what I've gathered, they parked it because of a coolant leak. And I guess the father put in a new radiator, but it was not leaking from the radiator. It was leaking from the bleeder right here. The little O-ring in there was bad. So I just put a random O-ring in it and it fixed the leak because it was pouring out a good bit. And then I put a O-ring in there and it fixed the leak. So I was like, no way. And then I bled the system and temperature's holding fine. And yeah, it's running and driving great. No check engine lights. So I haven't taken it on too big of a drive because the one issue it does have is the cluster does not work. So I'm gonna go to the junkyard, try to pull a cluster. It has around 160,000 miles on it. It's not too high mileage. It's like middle age mileage. But yeah, the one thing is the cluster didn't work. I have a OBD scanner that I plugged in and I can monitor all the gauges and stuff. So I've been using that, but I haven't taken it on too far of a drive, but I made sure it's not overheating or anything. And yeah, it runs so smooth. Here, I'll start it up. But this thing's amazing. And it is a manual transmission. If it was an automatic, I probably would have never bought it, but it's a manual. And yeah, it's just insane. So starts right up. All right, you can't see the cluster doesn't work, but that'll be fixed. But yeah, it just runs so smooth. Like, it is insane how smooth this engine is. And it's been sitting for like a year or two. And there, underneath, there is no rust at all. It's beautiful. It's in beautiful shape. I got the Carfax. There was like 5 previous owners, I think. No accidents, clean title. Yeah, I'm just still shocked. Like, I kept on waking up last night. I was like, man, I just can't believe it that I got this. AC does not work as well, but I don't care. Junkyard. All right, so the new cluster's in, and it works. The car starts up beautifully. I guess this little thing, I think that stays on if your cluster's been swapped, but I'm gonna get the original one fixed because this one has 246,000 miles and the car has like 160, so I definitely want correct miles on it. But yeah, now everything works. I took it for a drive and temperature stayed perfect like that. So yeah, this thing, it's amazing. So here we are in the E46, and it drives really well, except for the rear strut that clunks, or the rear coils or whatever. But that's really the only issue. Still no check engine light, knock on wood. I put about 30 miles on it in total, and still no check engine light, so that's a good sign. Yeah. Seems pretty solid. We can do a little acceleration up here. It's not quick. It's not an M3. And the clutch and the throttle are a little like, what's it called? Spongy kind of. Here we go. Here we go.
Whoa. Whoa.
The clutch and the throttle are a little spongy. Not spongy, but like not as responsive. I guess because it's like luxurious. That would be my guess. But the brakes work good. For $1,000 you can't complain. LT did see the car, he likes it.
He approves. But it smells in here.
Oh, it does smell. That's the next video, is going to be detailing this and buffing it.